So Titanic was the biggest movie of all time for 12 years until Avatar took over in 2010. It won 11 Oscars, including Best Picture back in 1998, and now it's back in theaters, this time in 3D, for its 15th anniversary and for the 100th anniversary of the actual sinking of the Titanic. This was my first time seeing Titanic, and one of the most impressive things for me about the film is the storytelling. The challenge for director James Cameron was making a compelling movie about an event that everyone already knew so much about. He succeeds by telling the story in a non-traditional fashion. The introduction in present day, with the explorers searching inside the sunken Titanic, and Gloria Stewart as Old Rose coming on board to tell her story, was a stroke of genius. Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet have great chemistry on screen. You can't help but care about Jack and Rose while they're falling in love on the ship, and you're rooting for them to stay together and stay alive. The movie is completely engaging with its story, likable characters, and intense and dramatic scenes. Even at 3 hours and 15 minutes, it flows, no pun intended, timelessly, and you just want it to go on and on.
It sounds like you enjoyed the film, but a lot of people have seen this movie already. Most importantly, what about the 3D? Is that going to get them to go see it?
The 3D post-production really works. I mean, the 3D is not overwhelming. It actually enhances many of the scenes, many of the dramatic and intense scenes and the action scenes. There are no gimmicks or tricks, so the effect shouldn't make any diehards angry at all. I think the 3D is great throughout the entire film.
Sounds pretty good. What grade did you give it?
On the official LCJ report card, Titanic 3D gets a B+. Whether you've never seen the movie before, know every single line, or somewhere in between, this is the perfect opportunity to take another memorable voyage.
Okay, shifting gears here. There's another movie out right now that we didn't get to last week, based on the classic Snow White.
Yes, and it's called Mirror, Mirror, and in the film, Julia Roberts stars as the Queen, an evil and strict woman who has once destroyed the once prosperous and happy kingdom by taking all of the townspeople's money, and she despises the 18-year-old Snow White, played by Lily Collins. One day, without permission, Snow White leaves the castle and goes into the forest, where she rescues Prince Alcott, J. Edgar's Armie Hammer, who's being held captive by 7 bandits, the 7 dwarves, but without the happy, dopey, grumpy names of the Disney classic. The Queen orders her servant, played by Nathan Lane, to kill Snow White, but instead he allows her to escape into the forest, where she meets up with the dwarves. At the same time, the Queen wants to marry Prince Alcott, but he's falling for Snow White. I bet you can figure out the rest.
All right, this looks like a darker take on this movie. Sounds like you didn't really enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, this movie, it really tries to be cute and funny. I mean, actually, there's another Snow White movie coming out in June, Snow White and the Huntsman, that's really dark and intense. This is more of the family one, but it tries to be cute and funny like another Enchanted, and it really fails. Instead, it's really silly and corny. And Julia Roberts as Queen, she talks evil, but never actually does anything evil. And you really have to feel bad for Armie Hammer, who has to do some embarrassing stuff here, including acting like a dog and actually licking Roberts. I mean, this film is bizarre and at times uncomfortable to watch.
Yeah, that sounds uncomfortable. What grade did you give it?
On the official LCJ report card, Mirror, Mirror gets a C-. There's a couple good things, a couple good scenes, and the costumes are very nice, but overall, this is one of the weirdest comedies I've seen in quite some time, and not in a good way.